Welcome everybody back to the Dragon's Lair. My name is Wade and this is my show Let's Talk, where we talk about Warhammer 40k. I want to talk to you about the Tyranid Exocrine. Some people say Exocrine, some people say Exocrine. I've heard all sorts of stuff. And we got to keep in mind that it is the British that in fact make this game. So, anyways, the Exocrine is a monstrous creature, which I love monstrous creatures. So it's got a big check mark in that box to start off with. But the reason why the Exocrine is so good, in my opinion, and is very, very super useful, is its gun. So it's a shooting beast, which before 9th and 10th edition, in my opinion, that was a pretty rare and weird thing. And what gun beasts we had were not great. But the Exocrine really had its glow up in 9th, and in my opinion, still has it today. So let's get right into it. We're talking about it. Bioplasmic Cannon. So first of all, it's heavy. So when you look over at BS3, keep in mind, if he stays put, if he doesn't move, you're at BS2. That's great. BS2 is great. And this has to do with something of a lore issue where they have a secondary brain in their spine. They still have a synaptic targeting ability, but it doesn't do what it used to do. Point is, I really think that it's BS3 heavy, so if it stays put, the secondary brain can think harder about where to shoot, which is just so really cool, because, you know, some dinosaurs had secondary brains. So, heavy, which is so cool because it becomes BS2. 36-inch range, which if you get your lines of sight correct, your sight lines, he can hit most of the map. So that's a really great feature. And blast. So keep in mind, if you are shooting a unit of 5-man, it's +1 attack. If you're shooting a 10-man unit, it's +2 attack. And it's basically a +1 to the attack number for every 5 guys. So like if there was a 20-man, for example, you would have +4, which is great. So blast, heavy, 36 inches, all of those things are super useful, super helpful, and will do you good. D6 +3 shots. I usually roll average or above average on the shots, so that's really good. 6 shots +2 shooting at a 10-man, 8 shots at BS2 or even BS3, but at BS2, that's really good. And if all of that wasn't good enough, Strength 8. Strength 8 is important because you're double toughing Marines, you're more than double toughing Imp Guard, Fire Warriors, Aspect Warriors. You're not double toughing Orc Boys, but Fire Warriors, the basic infantry of just about every army in the game, you are double toughing. Double toughing, of course, means that you only need a 2 to wound them. So 2s to hit, 2s to wound, possibly. And if it's not 2s, it's probably 3s. So what the Exocrine really excels at is killing big numbers of small infantry, or killing / putting the wounds on elite infantry. And you gotta have a plan for elite infantry. You gotta have a plan for Terminators. Recently, one of my Norn emissaries messed up a 10-man and 11-man unit of Terminators. 10 Terminators and a chaplain. And my Norn emissary ate most of that unit. And the only reason why he died is Lionel Johnson swooped in and sword murdered him at the last moment. But he was about to take an 11-man unit of Terminators. So you got to have a plan. The Exocrine is great for that, because I don't know what the toughness of Terminators is off the top of my head. It's probably 5 or 6, which means you're still wounding them on a 3+. So 2s to hit, 3s to wound, and then AP3. That's the big deal right there. So in this game right now, in 10th edition, AP1 is good. AP2 is really good. And AP3 is really very good. It's one of the only AP3 weapons we have. And you get lots of shots on it. And then damage 3. With damage 3, I don't know how many wounds a Terminator has, But with damage 3, you're gonna get kills. I mean, it's 3 flat. You're gonna get kills. That's the thing. It is a great shooting weapon. Powerful limbs, it's not there for the powerful limbs. It's got a sucky amount of attacks. It's got an okay to hit. The strength is okay. No AP, 2 damage. It sucks. So what's going to happen is someone is going to use a fast-moving deep striker to tie up your Exocrine. So that's what you need to watch out for. I've even had Exocrines do pretty okay with a Overwatch shot. It just depends really on what you need. So going over to the special abilities, Deadly Demise. So big monsters, sometimes when they die, they explode. So you roll a 6, a d6, and if you roll a 6, they explode. And the d3 is how much damage everybody in 6 inches takes. I believe it's just a flat 6. It used to be you measure for distance and stuff like that, but I think we don't have any of that. Here's another cool thing about it: the symbiotic targeting, the kumbiotic targeting. So in the shooting phase, after this model has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly Tyranid's model makes an attack that targets that unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. So here's what you want to do. In your shooting phase, you want to shoot your Exocrines probably maybe first. If you have a big target out there that needs to die, you know that you're going to maybe not focus all the shooting on it, but you're going to focus shooting on it. Exocrine first, so that going forward for the rest of the shooting phase, all of the shots reroll once. It's not going to save a ton of your shots, but you are statistically likely to do 25% better when you have a reroll than your original roll. If your original roll failed, you're statistically likely to have a 25% chance to do better. So odds are you're going to hit. Especially, if you're talking about an Exocrine, reroll 1s. If you didn't move, only the 1s miss, you're going to get all your shots. This is especially a good part of a 1-2 combo with the Tyranid effects. So everyone talks about how Rupture Cannons are so swingy, and they are. They're very swingy. It pains me that we don't have a good anti-tank choice. I am counting on Norn Emissary Lance and Zonothrope Lances. That's what I'm counting on right now, and it's not bad, but it's not great. And the Exocrine itself is not great at this, only coming in at strength 8. So it's going to be hard to put wounds on dreadnoughts and stuff like that. I mean, I wish we could hurt dreadnoughts with Exocrines, but we just can't. So you got to keep that in mind. But I do like that there's a strategy that's involved there. Keep in mind, another thing that's great with this is I'm shooting all these videos coming from the perspective of Invasion Fleet. So coming from the perspective of Invasion Fleet, I usually adapt to give everything sustained hits 1. So with this, sustained hits 1, odds are you're going to get some extra hits with sustained hits. So if you're rolling average and you're shooting at a 10-man squad, you're rolling 8 dice, any 6s in there, you are going to score extra hits, and that's really valuable. There's a stratagem in Invasion Fleet where things proc on a 5+, so you could use the stratagem on the Exocrine, and then any 5s and 6s would also qualify for sustained hits. And that's a great strategy to go with it. Also rapid regen if you need to keep it alive. 14 wounds is pretty great. Tough 10 is pretty good. But that's the Exocrine. So we here at the Dragon's Lair understand that you could spend your time anywhere on the internet. So we want to say thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon's Lair.